Most welcome to the Tubonge show, the Evergreen edition. Why are we calling it the Evergreen edition? These episodes will be a moment to celebrate and learn from the heroes of faith at the PCA Tubonge Church, who have served in the Presbyterian, who've had a journey with God, and to see the journey they've come. And so today we are delighted to be at the home of the retired Reverend Elder John Njenga. I want to introduce him as he says hi to you, welcomes you to the show, and even tells you that verse in the Bible that stands out for him. So karibu sana kiongozi.
Thank you, Pastor Shege. I'm delighted that you have come, you have visited us here. You are most welcome. I would like to start by saying that I'm saved this morning, and that John chapter 10 verse 10b, it is the verse that has been driving me most of the times, that Jesus came so that we may have life and have it in abundance. The evil one comes just to steal and finally to destroy. Yes.
Powerful. I want us to start from a very interesting point. We have a few books that are here that I know are instrumental or have been instrumental in the service of Elder Njenga. So maybe you can tell us, what books do we have here and what do they mean to you?
Now, my favorite book is the Bible, the Holy Bible, both the Old Testament and the New Testament, more so the Kikuyu Bible. And then we have what leads us in our PCA administration, that is the practice and procedure. And then there is a book which most elders have, and this is the liturgy book that leads whatever is done by the church for worship. And finally, I have my sermon notebook, whereby I jot down most of the sermons which really drive me well.
Interesting. You know, a wise man said, you are made up of the books you read and the people who speak into your life. So already now we can start to tell the things that inform Elder Njenga. But I know we learn a lot even about your journey in PCA Tubonge and even in service. But let's start off with, where do you hail from in, where do you come from in our country, and how was it growing up? What kind of family setup did you have?
Yes, I was born 67 years ago at Njenga. Njenga is in Gatondo South. Our home village is called Kahunyo, which was about, and it is about more than 15 kilometers from where the church, the PCA Njenga Church is. And since birth, my parents were devout Christians. My father was a preacher. He was also of the Presbyterian Church. My mother was also a devout Christian. Our grandfather now from the mother's side was a reverend those
Wow.
Earlier years.
Must be the 30s or 40s?
Those were in fact 30s.
1930s.
But our home origin is Kikuyu, the Kanyarere areas. And I'm told that my father, around 1928, in fact he left his work in Kikuyu to go preaching. And that is how he passed through Kiambu, Kamboi, went to Njenga on his way to Kehumbwini. And as he was preaching, being a young man then, that's the time now he would be given shelter by our grandfather, now the father to my mother. And I think that is how even my father met my mother.
That's how Elder Njenga came to be.
Yes, yes, that is how I really came to be. Yes.
Wow, I'm just wowed at the wealth that sometimes we might not know. When we're interacting with some of our fathers, some of our mothers, we don't know the journey that they've come. So we can tell of such a strong Christian foundation that you grew up with. But of course, young people experience challenges. You know, right now we're talking about the Gen Z. And someone may think, now that because your family, there was the clergy, you didn't struggle, you were not tempted. But did you face challenges along the way? And then how was your school life?
I would like first to say that we were brought up very well in a Christian way, because I would remember when I was young, barely 4 years old, my father would call us and teach us about, his Bible had some photographs of Adam and Eve, of Moses, of Joshua, of most of Elijah, most of the prophets. And he would give us those photographs, Ili to Zione. And also I can remember even seeing Stephen being stoned. And I would say we were brought up in that way. But then when we opened the school, I opened the school in 1964 at Njenga Primary School, where we continued learning these Christian lessons together with the academics. But then with I'm the seventh in our family. But then my parents were very, very strict for us to live Christian lives. Unfortunately, when we reached standard 7, I remember there came some changes in me, and this I can regrettably say it was brought about by some of the teachers who were teaching us. I think they were indoctrinating us in some form of bad behavior. So I remember in 1970, 1971, I had some changes in my life. That is a time I did not follow very well the Christian faith, and there were quite some challenges. But and at home, in fact, I don't know why my parents had relaxed during that time. I think they were tired of really having been so strict. So I really was not very good during my secondary school life, whereby I went to Komodai High School in 1972 up to 1975 when I did my O-levels. But then, even then, I would say I was not very good in my Christian faith during that time. Then after my O-levels, I was able to teach in the same primary school, but in the secondary school as an untrained teacher. I remember I also was a teacher at Mwendadu Secondary School in North Kinangop. But then even during that time, I was not very, very good. But in 1979, the month of September, that is the time I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I can remember very well, because a month later, I was admitted at Machakos KMTC to train as a public health officer, which I did. But then it was good because I was saved. Unfortunately, when I left college and started my first station work in Kikuyu, I was not very strict in my Christian life. I came later now to revive my faith later in 1990s, and then up to today, I feel that I'm doing well in the Christian faith.
Great. So those who know you a bit know that you are known as a health officer. And where did this inspiration come from? Was it by choice, or you found yourself by default to go to do the health profession? And how was the experience growing through the ranks up to the moment now you came out of the service?
I would say it is as if it was from, my mother was working in a hospital. When I was working as an untrained teacher, there came a time now when I can train as a public health officer. So I took that opportunity, and it was really in me, because we at home we still had some health background, learning about the diseases, learning about how to live well. So I would say it was from the parents' background, and also the interest in even knowing more about, let us say, diseases and their prevention.
Wow, awesome. Looks, those years, if the learning was from 1979, those are the years when now Moi was in power, because Moi goes all the way to 2002, when now Kibaki takes over the reins. So in fact, actually looks like most of your service was during Moi's time, where there were a lot of shake-ups during the coup in 82, during the repeal of the Section 2A it should be 91. Now, how was it? Did you find political struggles, or how was it even working in government by then?
I would like to say that as for me personally, I felt that President Moi's regime was too good to the civil servants, because, like one example, we never missed our salaries as civil servants, but then one had to work tirelessly and to be very, very loyal to the government. And that is because of also our background, that is what we were. We were loyal to the government. So we would work very hard. If for example, I remember, because I was still working in Kikuyu, if we would hear that President Moi is passing through those areas, any market had to be very, very, very clean.
So now you are the people to do that.
And also you remember that is the time he had said that we had to eradicate mosquitoes. In fact, he had a decree that public health officers should eradicate mosquitoes in the areas of. So we did. In fact, we were to write a report every week, and we really did a lot of. We knew that it was not possible to eradicate mosquitoes, because it is also not possible to eradicate organisms. But then we had to really work.
Were you tempted to enter into politics? You know, now when wanajua mmoja wetu yako kwa serikali, si usimame kansura, hiyo ni wakati wa kansura na the other oppositions.
No. During that time, I think civil servants, as loyal as they were to the government, they could not really move from one department probably to join politics. So
you are faithful to the cause.
Yeah.
Now, very interesting career. I think that's very inspirational to someone who is pushing their career. Let's now come, how do you end up being elder? In which parish were you identified? Iko kiongozi hapa anaweza tusaidia.
In fact, I can remember very well. I was being saved. I was working so well in Njenga parish, PCA Njenga parish. By then it had more than 10 congregations, and we were in fact together with my mom at all times, doing church school work. And I remember in 1995 there was need for me to be appointed, to be given a certain position for the chairmanship. But then certain things had to be done. But then in 1998,
which is very recent.
In 1998, I received a letter wanting me to be an elder. But then immediately I was called for a 2-year course in Nakuru, KMTC. And I remember what I did was a bit funny, because I told my late wife then that if I go now to KMTC, she is the one now who shall become the elder.
Because now
we agreed with that.
Yeah.
But then something happened that that activity was postponed until I finished my 2-year course. And when I came back, then they renewed that one. And in 2004, I was ordained now as an elder.
Still at Genda?
At PCN and parish then.
Okay.
Yes.
So we know you are at Dome. How did you end up in Dome?
Now what happened is that God blessed us. I was residing at Roiro during that time, and I was attending my village church every Sunday and district prayers once a week from Roiro. God blessed us that we had this property now in Thome. But then in 2016, there was need now for me to relocate from Roiro to Thome, and I found that it was better if I joined the nearest church, which is now PCA Thome. So that is the time I got my transfer and joined Thome.
Wow.
In 2016.
Interesting. Quite a journey, quite a journey. Speaking of your family, when are you doing your wedding? How many children has God blessed you with?
Now I was able to, as I had said, about 1995, that is the time we had the marriage vows now in the church. My firstborn, who is now Elder Diana, was born in 1983. The other one, and then two boys. After Diana, who is the eldest, we have Kevin Gitau and another gentleman, Moses Kinoko.
Wow.
Yes, and the last born is, I think now he is 28 years old.
Wow.
The last born.
And a few grandchildren?
And in fact, I have quite a number of grandchildren now. Nyakeo has 2. And also the eldest son of Nyakeo has a child.
So your great grand
is a great child. And then Kevin has 2 kids, and Moses has 1.
Wow, that is quite a legacy. And actually that's why we are calling it Evergreen, to inspire someone that when you are in God, God keeps your glory and keeps you going, and you even age gracefully, because there are people who are in their 50s, they look kama guka kabisa, but you can find that you are in your 70s, 80s, and still you look very great, because we are talking, you can imagine even in the US, that both the presidents who are vying are hitting their 80s, and they are the ones who are the ones to lead. So it means that's why we are talking about Evergreen. God can keep your glory, that you're in health and you are well even as you go along. Maybe for PCA Dome, what growth have you seen from the time you joined and where we are right now, and what do you think the people who are continuing now to serve, the word that you can tell us?
Now in Thome, I have seen a lot of progression, especially with the yearly themes that come by from 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Then Corona time, there was that decline. And even if we had that decline of not going to the church, that is even the time we expanded most, because that is the time even we started the online church. And although we were not able to grow the physical church, in fact, spiritually, I could feel that there was a lot of growth up to today, where like now in our theme where we are talking of getting deeper, and also like this month when we are talking about building on firm foundations, you find that I think there is a connection between whatever theme we have been having every year up to today, now going deeper. That really explains the progression. We have gone deeper. And I believe both physically, because the church building, even membership has increased. Even faith, when talking to somebody, you would really come to know that faith has increased in most of us. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, as we conclude, it is a space where the talk about the young people is in the air, where in fact we were almost ignoring the young people, but actually they have raised their voice until now. Even the government itself have taken notice of them. But I believe it has always been there, where the new generation is always in clamor to take up authority and to take up, power and to be heard and to be felt. But of course, there are some things that you have seen over your journey. And again, even the older generation were also young. So it's nothing new to be young. Everybody was young and now they have become parents. And now, so there are some things they know along the way. What can you tell the young people as they are looking for their voice to be heard? They're the ones now who the baton is being passed to them to serve. What can you guide them as they are going on to serve in the nation, to serve in the church?
Thank you for that question. And what I would really like almost everybody to think about is what we are told in sociology about conformity, conforming to right behavior, which really starts at conception. Each one of us, when one was conceived, that is a time now one starts now to adapt to either good behavior or bad behavior. So what I would like the youth especially to note is that the earlier you start living or having good behavior, the better. Because we have people who have lived even 100 years, but even if they are 100 years, you would find them even having vices. Unaona mtu ambaye akona miaka kama yangu, angali tu kwa sigara, angali tu kwa pombe, angali tu haja mjua Yesu, angali tu hajaelewa what is happening. So one of the pieces of advice I would like to give to the young people, the earlier you start now living well, having the right behavior, the better. Even if you are in the nursery school, in your primary school, in your secondary school, in your late 20s, in your late 30s, the better. So, and this is where now I'm reminded of the prodigal son. I think that is another very important verse that comes to my mind. That is Luke 15, that says, when he came to himself, when this prodigal son came to himself, I wish each one of us, especially now the youth, aweza kaa peke yake somewhere, and then you come to yourself. Come to yourself. Unafikiria, unaona naitwa fulani, ninafanyanga hii, na ninataka kutoka sasa kuwa a different person. But then I believe you cannot change unless now you change in knowing Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coming to yourself, coming to your right mind. What a challenge. And seeing what Christ can do when you give him your life. It has been a great episode. Stay tuned as we get more and more encouragement, and as we wish Elder Njenga well as he continues with these projects, and as he continues to carry on the baton and even to mentor other people to also share in his wisdom and in his insight towards serving God and serving the nation. I know you have been blessed. To the production team of PCA Dome, we say thank you for your support. For all of us, led by the media team and the church leadership, thank you for the opportunity to have this platform to encourage the people. Thank you. Until next episode, bye-bye, and God bless you.
Amen.